Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by Roan. Upgrade your wardrobe today by going to roan.com/chatsports. That is roan.com/chatsports. Code chatsports gets you 28% off. My name is Harrison Graham. On today's show, we got a fresh batch at some Bears cut candidates, some players that could be in trouble after the NFL draft based on who the Bears drafted and how this roster looks. Let's get to the first guy here. That is Velus Jones Jr., who I think we talked about last time we mentioned some cut candidates, and if anything, the road to a roster spot got tougher after the NFL draft, considering the Bears did add Rome Odunze. You look at this wide receiver group right now, your top three is set with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. You've got Tyler Scott, you've got Velus Jones, you got Dante Pettis and Colin Johnson. Where does Velus Jones fit? I mean, I think his absolute ceiling, if he has a great offseason, is wide receiver 4, which that would obviously put him on the team. But his floor is missing the roster. That is definitely a real possibility. I mean, this is kind of how I break down the tiers of this wide receiver room right now. You got your three surefire locks in DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze. I think Tyler Scott's close to being a lock because you drafted him last year in the 4th round. He did some decent things as a rookie. He'd have to have a really poor offseason and training camp to miss this 53-man roster. And then I think Velus Jones Jr., Dante Pettis, and Colin Johnson are on the bubble. You're probably going to carry 5 to 6 receivers. If you're Velus, you hope it's 6, because if it's 5, you could be in big, big trouble. And I think going forward, for Velus Jones, he can't just be a kickoff returner. And I know with the new kickoff rules coming back, that gives him more value because he'll be involved in more plays. But if that's all he can do, you can find someone else to do that for you. Rome Odunze caught punts in college, returned punts. Tyler Scott can be your kickoff returner. Khalil Herbert can be your kickoff returner. You can have put DJ Moore back there every once in a while. You have other options. It's not like it's Velus Jones or bust. He's a very good kickoff returner, but if he can't give you anything on offense, you may just have to part ways in favor of guys who can. So will Velus Jones Jr. make the Bears roster? Type Y for yes, he will. Type N for no, he won't. I think he's right on the bubble. Pen comment on today's show. If you get hit with the YouTube ad break, reply with a yes or no. All right, next up here, Larryborm. We talked about this after the Kiran Amegadjie pick, the offensive tackle out of Yale. I think Borom's in trouble because if you cut him, you actually save pretty notable money here, $3.1 million in cap space for a guy who not only isn't a starter, but realistically isn't even your swing tackle anymore. You got Amegadjie for that. You signed Matt Pryor for a cheaper price tag that could play that role as well if Amegadjie gets hurt or isn't quite ready. I just don't know where Larryborm fits. I think you're going to keep both of your center options, Bates and Shelton. So that's 6 offensive linemen. Amegadjie obviously is going to make the team. That's 7. I think Ja'Tyre Carter's going to make it. That's 8. Pryor or Borom for your 9th spot. If you go 9, I'm going to keep the cheaper guy in Matt Pryor in all reality. Now, could Larryborm be a trade asset? Maybe. Final year of his rookie deal. He does have 23 career starts. He's played a decent amount because of injuries to other players. He's played in 39 games, started 23. He's played both tackle spots and at least some guard as well, so he gives you versatility. So maybe this is one of those training camp moves where you get like a 7th-round pick for him or something like that, but I would actually be pretty surprised at this point if he made this roster because there's no avenue for him to start, and I don't even think he's one of your top backups at this point. So I would be surprised if Larryborm's on this team. Like we said, today's show is sponsored by Roan, and I'm a big fan of Roan because they reinvented the male's closet with their commuter collection, which offers the most comfortable, breathable, and truly versatile set of products known to man. And the reason is they have products for every occasion. We're talking about the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, and even blazers. They look great as individual pieces and work seamlessly together as well. And look, mobility is everything. There's plenty of clothing products that look good, but do you feel comfortable? With their 4-way stretch fabric, you feel good and you look good no matter the occasion. You need to go to a all-important business meeting, they've got clothing for that. You want to hit the golf course, go to happy hour, keep it more casual, they've got you covered for that as well. I love this about Roan also. Machine washable clothing. You can throw all their products in the washing machine, air dry them, boom, you're good to go. So you're going to save money in the long run as well by not having to go to the dry cleaners. Get started with Roan today. It's roan.com/chatsports, RHONE.com/chatsports. The code chatsports gets you 20% off at checkout, and go check them out. Link is in the comments and in the description. Click and shop today and reinvent your own closet with Roan. Let's get to our next cut candidate here. That is Travis Homer, who was on the team last year, was kind of on the bubble, made the team, and survived. Right now, he's kind of your RB4, but in all reality, his role is as a special teamer. He's not going to get touches over DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson. Now, he did play in Seattle when Shane Waldron was there. There were some overlaps. There's familiarity with the offense. That certainly helps if he were to need to play, but he had 0 touches on offense last year, which is kind of crazy to see. I actually looked up the numbers. 1 target. So I think he played maybe 10 snaps on offense all year. So the question is can you replace him on special teams? If you feel like you can replace his special teams production as a gunner and some other things with a player that gives you more either on offense or defense, then I would say you probably cut Homer. If not, if you think he's that big of a special teams ace, then he probably makes this team. But I think he's firmly on the bubble as of now. Elijah Hicks could find his way on the roster bubble also entering year 3 of his rookie contract. Also, I mean, what is he right now? Safety 4 at best. You look at this group, Kevin Byard to replace Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker. You signed Jonathan Owens to a 2-year deal. He's a pretty safe lock to make the team. So that's your top 3. Teams typically keep 4, sometimes 5. You got Tarvarius Moore, Quindell Johnson, who the Bears picked up last year. I know they like him. So it might come down to Hicks versus Johnson for that final spot on this roster. And look, Hicks had to play a decent amount last year because Eddie Jackson dealt with injuries, was battling that foot issue, and he just did not hold up. Teams targeted him. His PFF coverage grade was 40.2, very, very poor. Decent in the box. He could tackle. He's good on special teams, but he's never going to be a guy that can be that roaming cover safety. So, if it's safety 4, it probably comes down to special teams, and we'll see if they value him or Quindell Johnson more in that mold. But I definitely think he's going to have to earn a roster spot. Join the family here on Chicago Bears Now for free and daily Bears YouTube videos. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. We'll continue to pump out content here on a daily basis. We appreciate the love, the support we've already gotten, and let's keep it moving here. All right, let's go to Dominique Robinson. Talked about him on draft day as well, especially after the Bears moved back into the 5th round to get Austin Booker, a player that they probably thought would go 3rd or 4th round. The clock is ticking on Dom Rob. It just is. I mean, how long ago does his debut feel in that monsoon in Chicago when he had 1.5 sacks beating Trent Williams, of all people, off the edge? You're thinking, oh, my God, Bears found a steal in this guy. He's had half a sack since, was inactive a lot of games last year. He just has not produced, and I know they're kind of thin at edge right now, but guys I would for sure put ahead of him, Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, you just drafted Austin Booker, so even if he's slightly behind him early on, he's going to make it over Dom Rob. I think Jake Martin, a guy who's had some decent production in the NFL, maybe even Khalil Kareem, who's better as a run stopper, and you add in the fact that I still think a vet edge gets signed. Whether you bring back Yannick Ngakoue or you go sign Calais Campbell, I think the Bears bring someone in here between now and training camp. And if that's the case, I don't see what Dom Rob's path to the roster is unless he just has an unbelievable offseason. And it's like, okay, this guy's taking the next step. You get one of these guys on board of Campbell, Ogba, Lawson, Jerry Hughes, and Ngakoue, whoever, they're going to make it over Dom Rob. So I think he's in trouble. I think he's really going to have to show something in the offseason program into the preseason to make this football team. I think out of all these guys, other than maybe Larryborm, just due to a numbers game there and financial savings of over $3 million, Dom Rob is probably in the biggest trouble, for being completely honest. Now, name a player that you think the Bears should cut. Drop his name down in the comment section down below. Go ahead and let us know who that is. And don't forget to subscribe. Like we mentioned, we're trying to get to 93,000 subs here on the channel. We appreciate the support. If you want to give us a chance for free, hit that sub button, and we'll see you next time.